Jackson Miller was a retired firefighter living in a small cabin on the edge of a forest in Oregon. A quiet man in his late 50s, his world revolved around one soul, a golden retriever named Buddy. Jackson rescued Buddy as a puppy from a dumpster fire he was called to 12 years ago. Burned, scared, and crying, the puppy was nearly unconscious. Jackson picked him up, wrapped him in his own jacket, and whispered, "You're safe now, Buddy." That name stuck. They became inseparable. When Jackson walked to the post office, Buddy came along. When Jackson chopped wood, Buddy sat nearby. During cold nights, Buddy slept beside him, head resting on his chest like a child needing comfort. But Jackson had a heart condition. He'd been hiding it. The doctors had warned him, "You need regular care." But Jackson would just smile and say, "I've got Buddy. I'm okay." One winter morning, Jackson took the early train to the city for a doctor's appointment. As always, Buddy followed him to the station. But this time, Jackson didn't allow him to hop on. He patted his head gently, said, "Be a good boy, I'll be back soon," and boarded the train. Buddy sat by the tracks. He watched the train disappear into the snowy horizon. He waited the whole day. But Jackson never came back. He had suffered a fatal heart attack on the city sidewalk that afternoon. He was declared dead on arrival at the hospital. No one from the city knew about Buddy. The next train came. Buddy's ears perked up. He stood, tail wagging. "No, Jackson." The train left. He sat back down. This happened again. And again. Every day. Locals began to notice. The station manager offered him food, water, even shelter. But Buddy refused to move. He wouldn't eat unless the bowl was left beside the tracks. A young girl named Emma, who passed the station every day, started sitting with him. She named him the waiting dog. Winter turned to spring. Still, he waited. Emma one day snapped a photo of Buddy with the caption, "He waits for someone who'll never return." Every day. Every train. The post exploded on social media. People from across the country offered to adopt him. But none could take him away from the station. He would always return. His heart remained where Jackson had said goodbye. A local vet checked him and said, "He's healthy, but his heart's grieving." One day, a brown envelope arrived addressed to the local postmaster. It was from Jackson, mailed a week before his death. Inside was a handwritten note. "If anything happens to me, please take care of Buddy. He saved me more times than I saved him. He doesn't like cages and he won't stay indoors too long. Let him be free. But don't let him be forgotten." The postmaster cried, holding the letter. Everyone in the town decided Buddy would be allowed to stay at the station. They built him a small wooden shelter. Placed his name on it. A plaque beside it read, "For loyalty that never left." Years passed. Buddy had grown slower. His golden coat turned silver. He no longer stood when trains arrived, but he always raised his head. One winter morning, Emma found him lying still, his head on the very spot Jackson last stood. In his sleep, he had crossed over. In his dreams, maybe he saw the train again. Maybe this time, Jackson stepped off, arms open, saying, "Come on, Buddy. Let's go home." They say a cold wind blew through the station that morning, not bitter, but soft, as if someone came to take him gently. Buddy was buried beside the tracks where he waited all those years. Every year on the date of Jackson's death, the town holds a small gathering. Flowers are laid. Children are told the story of the dog who waited with more faith than most humans can carry. A statue now stands at the station, a golden retriever sitting with eyes toward the horizon. Beneath it, engraved, "He waited with love. He left with loyalty. He reminded us what it means to never give up." People come from far and wide, not to see a statue, but to feel something they've lost, the purity of love without conditions. They say love never dies. And sometimes love waits, in fur and silence, in snow and sun, until one day it walks home again.